So I'm looking at this Fujifilm X-M5 again. So last time I've tried this already in my First Lok video. Last time I didn't have too much time to test this camera. So this time I borrowed this for a few days. Last time when I test the video, people point out two problems. The one is somebody comment about the color is really bad. My bad, it was my problem because this is I don't used to, there's a film simulation dial, so I actually choose a wrong film simulation.
Well, let me explain myself. I used to that I set the film simulation in the menu system, one for still and one for video, and that's it. When I change from still to video, the film simulation will change accordingly. That is in fact one annoying thing about film simulation dial. Every time you change between still and video, you have to change the film simulation on the dial every single time.
But this time, you can see it's pretty good. I actually set a custom white balance, and then I have chosen to use the Eternal film simulation. I think Eternal really great for video shooting. Another thing is that last time, the stabilization looks really weird. As you can see, this time it's fine, even though I'm walking on grass. The problem with last time is that the stabilized footage doesn't look really stable. It's kind of like blurry, wobbly a bit. Why was that? Last time already suspect that it was because I picked a too slow shutter speed. Actually, it's not too slow shutter speed. I always use that shutter speed because the video is 25 frames per second. I'm supposed to use 1/50 of a second shutter speed. So usually, if you see the video is shaky and you see motion blur, that's fine. That's normal to you. But if you see the video is stable, but you see blur, that is when you say, oh, what's wrong with that? The camera is something wrong with the camera. Actually, there's nothing wrong with the camera. They can use digital stabilization to stable the frame. The whole frame is stable, but they can't cancel motion blur. Now, I'm using the lens OIS and the digital stabilization as well, because this camera doesn't have the sensor shift in-body stabilization. But this time, you see, that's totally fine. This time, I let the camera pick the settings, and it is now using 1/100 of a second. Hello. Because last time later I realized, okay, this camera, it is for beginners, for people who used to use their mobile phone for photo and video, and they want people to try actual camera, make it really small, make it really affordable. And this is what it intend to be. It intend to be used in full auto, so it apply a strong digital stabilization. So people will be happy. The video is stable and there's nothing wrong. Color is great using Eternal. So now I have a really great 33mm f1.4 lens with it. So you can see it's really shallow depth of field. Look at that. Some people talk about the AF problem. That's something about the autofocusing. So I want to test this out using a really shallow depth of field lens to actually test this. So to test this, I'm going to talk about the sponsor of this video, not VPN. I keep talking about VPN, but it's really important. These days, you want to have VPN. It's just like back in the days, everyone have to install antivirus. You have to update them. But also, have you read the news that Australia recently just arrested a guy that in an airport and on the plane, he set up a fake Wi-Fi. They call it evil twins Wi-Fi attack. Basically, the guy set up a Wi-Fi that has the same name of the airport free Wi-Fi. So everyone bought that plane, the device they used the airport Wi-Fi before, or the laptop, or the mobile phone, automatically connect to that guy's fake Wi-Fi on the plane without the user knowing. So using VPN, you can make sure that the guy can steal nothing from you. And of course, VPN can protect your privacy as well. You do know that a lot of ISP or the Wi-Fi in the cafe that you use sell your internet browsing history for profit. But with VPN, you connect directly to the VPN. The ISP and the cafe only know that you connect to the VPN and don't know what your final destination is. With the link in the description down below or with this QR code, if you join 2 years plan, you can get 4 months extra for free. And then it's risk-free to try, because within 30 days, if you don't like it, you can cancel it, take all your money back, basically a free trial. And I think the autofocus, it looks fine here. It keeps showing my eye. It keeps showing a box on my eyes. By the way, I have set up the focusing setting. I think I have the sensibility down to 1, focus speed to 1 as well. Yeah, both of them 1. So I like that it's the focusing. I always like the focusing speed a little bit slowish. It's more like a human doing the focusing rather than a machine just cut to the focus unnaturally. So okay, I think I find kind of an extreme scenario if I only just come in and I am really blurry, so the camera can't recognize there's human in front. Is this a problem? I don't think this is a problem, this specific case, because it is kind of extreme. A lot of other camera, okay, this works. If it's working fine, like this kind of normal thing, it will be fine. If I like talking to the camera, turn around, wonder, ponder about, and then come back, it still focus on me, then I think it's fine. If I go away from the frame, come back to in the frame, and turn around. Now back to the stabilization thing. The thing is that because this camera doesn't have an in-body stabilization, the sensor shift stabilization, so it rely on if the lens have OIS or you have to use digital stabilization. So with OIS, now I'm using 15mm. It has OIS, but it's not that stable. I can't even say it's alright. It's a little bit shaky. Yeah, it is. Now the digital stabilization, I mentioned it last time that the last time when I tried it, it got some kind of blurriness. So this time I said if I use P mode, let the camera pick all the setting, it appeared to be fine, and this is intended for beginners. But now the problem is when it gets dark, doesn't look too dark because the camera compensates, but it's getting dark under trees. So it now using 1/30 of a second shutter speed. So the blurriness come back. So this is something you can refix when you are relying on digital stabilization. This is basically just like when you use an action camera. When it gets dark, all the action camera footage will look like this as well. You'll get things just really stable but blurry. So one way is that you can turn off the digital stabilization. Like now, I'm only relying on the optical stabilization on the lens. So you still got blur. Actually, it's the same blur, but because the camera is more shaky, so it looks more natural when you shaky. Of course, it's blur. Now you may or may not know Fujifilm users have been complaining about autofocusing issue for quite a long time, and it seems like recently it has been fixed finally. Especially for X-H2 and X-H2S, both cameras mainly for video shooting, really important that autofocusing works. And the latest firmware just released a few days ago. And with the X-M5, I think it looks to me that it already have the fix inside the original, the first firmware for X-M5, because I can't find any issue with autofocusing with the X-M5. Especially I have used 33mm f1.4 lens on it. I didn't even make it easy for it. It is a pretty shallow depth of field lens. And for the X-M5 stabilization, that's another story. It is quite, it is so-so, it's quite so-so. With lens only OIS, it is pretty shaky for today's standard. So it has to rely on digital stabilization, but with digital stabilization, you have to use faster shutter speed. Even if you use full auto, when it gets down, it would use a slower shutter speed, and you will have this motion blur problem, which this motion blur problem isn't just specific for X-M5. Any camera that uses digital stabilization will have this issue. But Fujifilm cameras with in-body stabilization, the sensor shift stabilization, you will have much better stabilization from them. Now, some people question about why a vlogging camera, a camera for content creator, would be without image stabilization, in-body stabilization. It is ridiculous. How could it be? But you have to look at this is just an $800 camera. If you look at Nikon, actually for Nikon, none of the APS-C size sensor camera have in-body stabilization. None of them have it. If you look at Canon, similar price R10, no in-body stabilization. If you want stabilization from Canon, you have to pay $1,300 for R7. For Sony A6400, a little bit cheaper, no in-body stabilization. The latest ZV-E10 Mark II, around $1,000, still no in-body stabilization. You have to get at least the A6600 for in-body stabilization. But as you know, maybe you don't know, but Sony in-body stabilization, it doesn't make that much difference. You still have to use digital stabilization for stable footage. The thing is, I have been talking about discount camera price compared to a brand new X-M5 as well. So yeah, I agree that good stabilization is essential for a vlogging camera, a camera for content creator. But you still have to be practical about it is an $800 camera. I mean, when the camera brands call a certain camera a vlogging camera, usually it's just marketing more than anything. So that's why we camera reviewers have our job to inform you that which camera actually good for what. So in my opinion, the X-M5 may not be the best vlogging camera. There are better vlogging camera out there. You need better stabilization. But it is a really great camera. It's cheap, $800. Cheap, I mean, relatively. I mean, whenever I call it cheap, people would comment, oh, you call it cheap, whatever. Yeah, it's an entry-level camera. It's $800 and it's small and it looks so much like the X100. It's still a good-looking, compact, interchangeable mirrorless camera from Fujifilm.